Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sen.
15 PCA.
87454.
Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. Amphibia, Day at the Aquarium. Another episode like the last episode where it's a funny premise, funny things happen, but there's also greater lore implications, greater world building implications, greater storyline implications. And this is, I think, I just love how they do it in this show. They realize, yes, it's a Disney cartoon for little kids that's had the fun, silly things, the big facial expressions, the big gags, but there's also a storyline that you can follow from beginning to end, which I love that. Last Airbender did that, where most children's cartoons, you can watch any episode in any order from any season and it doesn't matter. In this show, you can't do that, because there's certain characters and things that happen. There's location changes. Like this whole season so far has been in Newtopia, or on their way to Newtopia, and that changes everything. It changes everything from just being in Wartward. I love that about this show, and this is another good episode where you get it, not as much as the last episode, where the last episode had a ton of questions. This one has questions, but not as creepily about it. So like in the last episode, they were saying, hey, you're gonna meet the king in the morning. They're all ready, gonna go meet the king. The king is very jolly, and I'm always distrustful of everybody. That's just who I am. I am a I'll give people the benefit of the doubt, but in the back of my mind, I'm always waiting for them to stab me in the back, especially if I don't know them and I don't trust them. And this king, it just seems too happy, too jolly, too like, hey, I'm the fun guy. I'm the cool king. I don't know. I don't like it. Maybe he truly is just a good guy, but it's just the goofiness of him. It feels like he's hiding something. But he found the book that talks about the music box. And it was used to travel to different worlds. But the people who travel there were like explorers and scientists and stuff. Is he lying? I don't know. But whenever the box gets used, the crystals, like the little gems, have to be recharged. And you have to recharge them at these different like temples. It's very video game. I'm sure Marcy absolutely loves this idea, because this is Legend of Zelda. This is like every Final Fantasy ever made. So it's cool. I love that the book is very detailed. Look at all this detail in the book. It's so cool. I like that. Look at all the different little like showing all the different gems and everything. I love it. I think that's really, really cool. So like, wow, it's a way to find a way to go home. And that's what they need to do. They need to recharge these gems. And then Marcy's like, okay, that'll be our journey. They have to go get the box. But remember, Hop Pop buried the box. And he said, oh, I'm going to put it in safekeeping. But so Hop Pop still knows something. He knows more. Was he part of that, his family, part of that original group that would travel? But it's so weird. Why wouldn't he tell Anne about it? See, I love that. I love having questions. I love thinking about this kind of stuff, because then it just makes you more invested into the show. That's a key. If you're ever going to write something, have mysteries, have characters that are like, Hop Pop's a good guy through and through, but he has some secrets too, because people have secrets. Real characters, real people have things that you don't know about them. So I like that. Always work that into your storyline, especially if you're trying to tell like an adventure story. But here's the gist of this whole scenario. Marcy's like, you don't need to go back to Wartwood. We'll just send a servant to go get the box. As soon as Hop Pop gets back, gets it, then he'll let us know. We'll send people there to go get it. You just stay here with me, because we're trying to get back home. What's the point of separating? We need to be together. So, just because something happens, we're the people that need to go home. And yeah, that makes more sense. And they need to go do their harvest. It's time to, break away from that. But of course, she's had this family, her frog family. And it's like kind of hurting her heart that she has to separate from them. But isn't that the whole point? Aren't you going back home, Anne? Aren't you going to have to be away from them? So they're like, oh, you know what, Marcy K, this is going to take a while to get all this stuff together. Go hang out with your family and have a fun day. And this is like your whole day to say goodbye. So they're trying to figure out something to go do. And they're like, let's do something fun to get our mind off of, us having to separate. Let's go to the aquarium. Very, very beautiful. I haven't been to an aquarium in forever. They go to the aquarium, but every little thing they run into and every exhibit reminds them of an adventure that they went on. So it always makes them sad. And it's like funny, but it's like, oh, there's like this eel monster. Like, oh, remember that one time? And then they all start thinking about their good times together and their adventures, and they always get sad. So that goes on for a little while. Like every little thing they go do makes them sad. And even the dumbest one is they go to like a coral exhibit, and all the coral looks like they're different adventures to the point to where it's like unbelievably uncanny. Like the first one's like, oh, that looks like Hot Pop's walking stick. Okay, that makes sense because coral does have that kind of look to it. But then it's like those two cannibal people. It looks exactly like them. I'm like, okay, there's no way this coral naturally grew that way. So everything's making them super sad, and they're starting to cry, and everyone's like, what the hell's wrong with these people? Security guard's like, hey, you guys got to go. And they're like, oh, we're just really sad. So, you know what would make you not sad? Going to go see they have like a live show, like at SeaWorld, like Shamu, that whole thing with the killer whales and dolphin show. Like, go see this show with the rays. It always makes me happy. So they go there, and you have you have the overly exuberant animal trainer person. Like, they just have to be this way. Oh, hello, everybody. They just have like this big smile on their face. And the two rays. So you have you have Sugar Ray. So stupid, Sugar Ray. That could either be a reference to Sugar Ray the boxer or Sugar Ray the singer from the 90s and the early 2000s. Either way, it's hilarious. And so like, oh, we need a volunteer from the crowd, and they pick Sprig, and you have to hold up the fish, and then the big sea serpent thing's gonna eat it. And this is a callback to like the first episode or the second episode, I believe, where they run into this giant monster, and then they start thinking about the past again. They start crying, and the lady's like, oh, don't worry, as long as you don't make any sudden movements, everything will be fine. But of course, Sprig starts crying, freaks out the snake. It runs off, it hits the dock and breaks it apart. And they're like, oh no, we gotta save Sprig. It's like, don't worry, the sea serpent she's a pushover. It's those manta rays you have to watch out for because they love to eat frogs. So he's just sitting in the water, just crying. The manta rays are like circling. They're gonna freaking eat Sprig. But then they go into like this whole like, oh, we gotta save him. My thought was, why didn't Sprig just get out of there? Frogs can swim very, very well. Very, very quickly. Just get out of the pool. Like, why fight these things? There is no reason to fight them. So they go in this little battle thing, and they do the same thing they did before. I'll set them up, you knock them down, and they kind of beat them up. They free them, like they knock them into the ocean, so they're like no longer in captivity. But it's like, well, that was unnecessary. They end up getting thrown out of the aquarium for like, first of all, releasing animals into the wild and just causing a ruckus. But then, they're just, still sad about the situation because, you got to say goodbye. Get back to the castle. It's going to be sundown. And they're packing up the wagon. And like, well, and, this is goodbye. So I'll do a big hug and everything. And I do like how Sprig gets like an extra hug at the end because they really connected. They're super, super good friends. They bonded over battles, they bonded over happy times, and they bonded over sad times. And that's like a true friendship that's like forged in fire. It's like there is an unbreakable friendship there. Like there is nothing that's going to be able to separate them from caring about each other. I love that. That's super, super cool. I love stories with good friendships and how those things are just built over time, and how real true friends were there for the good times, they're there for the bad times, they're there for the sad times, they're there for the fun times. It's just great. I love that. And it's just kind of sad to see them kind of like separate, but it only makes sense. Marcy sees how incredibly, look at this shot. Look how good this shot is. Just the art direction, the framing of this, the background, the sun setting, the light pinks and reds. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I absolutely love this. Marcy, in all her analytical way, she's like, well, this is the best, the most practical thing to do. And then Anne's like, yeah, I know. She told you need to think with your mind, not your heart. But then Marcy goes, she's kind of like, does that whole like, okay, time to let my heart speak, not my mind. She's like, you know what? I've been thinking it's probably not a good idea to just send just any old person to go get the box. We should send somebody we trust, and there's no one in the world I trust more than you, Anne. So go back with the planners, you get the box, and you bring it back. So it's like her way of like coming up with a practical reason to let her go, even though it's 100% her heart. And thank you, Marcy. Thank you so much. I'll be back sooner than you can think. And, then she goes and runs off to go be with the planners. And you get to see all the people they met throughout all their adventures in Utopia. They run into the nacho lady, the little alligator guy that was under the sewers. And she joins the group again. And it's like, yeah, they're going to all go back to Wartwood together. And they get to spend time together a little bit longer. But here's the thing. It's always just one more day. It's always all do that. You procrastinate the sad thing. So they're going to have to break away from each other. That she has to go home because she has a family. She has a mother and a father that literally just assumed either she's dead or she was kidnapped or something horrible, has happened to her. So she needs to get back home. But she has this family here too. And when I talked about the greater lore implications, not as much as the other episode, because those weird like ghost jelly things, like the catacombs, the mirrors, all that stuff, Wonderworld, that was all about. The king goes up to Marcy and he's like, hey, but again, look at these shots. Look at Marcy at the wind blowing her cape. She's sad too because that was her friend. She only got to be with her for a little bit. And now she just sent her away to go be with her other family. Very self-sacrificing, her own feelings, her own heart. I love it. Good friends do that. She knows Anne's strong. She knows Anne's going to be able to find her way back. I love it. We get the king and he's like talking to Marcy, like, hey, I got like an idea. I think you're going to like it. And the episode ends. I don't like this king. I don't know. Why don't I trust him? I love happy characters. But the thing is, maybe because he's so big and so, powerful, I suppose. And him being so jolly and nice. I'm not getting Santa Claus vibes, I'm getting, oh, I'm only pretending to be nice. Oh, I'm only pretending to be this goofy guy because deep down inside I've done horrible things. I don't know. I don't know why I don't trust him. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Keith David is an amazing voice actor, and he can be a good guy or a bad guy. He does a very good job of being both. But I don't know. I don't know if I can trust this guy. I do like these two episodes. I think they go together very well. Some of the episodes are just very filler and they just have nothing to do with each other. These two episodes do connect. The two events of having your friendships, having your fun, but also the sad times and also breaking apart. And sometimes you do have to be away from your friends. And sometimes with the case of the planners, when Anne goes home, she's going to be away from them presumably forever. And that's a sad thing to think about, but those things do happen in life. And I'm glad those kinds of things are represented in cartoons for children, because there are heavy concepts that kids can get. A kid can understand being with your friend like all summer, and then they go, oh, they're going to go travel with their family, or they're going somewhere else in the part of the country, and you're not going to see your friend for months and months and months. And that's something that Marcy and Anne have to deal with. And you can see the sadness in Marcy and where she's standing on the street and just watching her run off. And it's just like, well, there you go, there's my friend, and she's gone again. I thought I lost her forever, but I got her back just to say goodbye again. Those are good, strong messages. I love those kind of story beats. And I do like the fact that I don't trust this king. It makes it more interesting for me personally. Just the whole concept makes it interesting. But yeah, like this show. I love it. I'm going to finish it up. I swear to God, it's going to take me forever, but I'm going to finish this show. Thanks for watching, guys. Do all that fun stuff. Like, comment, share it around. All that good stuff helps me. But thank you, guys. Love you all. See you on the next one. Crimson Sin here. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting on the video really helps out a lot. It gets the video spread around more people get to see the videos, and we get to make more videos for you guys. So thank you, and we appreciate every single one of you guys.